92.3. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and it's keeping it real with Leela Day. I have some wonderful guests with me today. Would you like to go ahead and introduce yourself, Renitra?
Hello, my name is Renitra. I own a beauty bar, which is called I Am Beauty, and a screen printing company, custom creative firm called I Can Create.
Yeah, she makes all my pillows that I be posting, y'all. Sorry. Malfunctioning over here. And my other guests, would you like to introduce yourselves? Tell us what you do. Tell us where they can find you and all that good stuff.
Hello, everybody. I am certified, aka Tiffany. You can find me on all social media platforms as certified with 2 F's. And also on Hits 92.3 on the Live City Show.
Monday through Friday.
Yep, Monday through Friday.
10 to 2.
10 to 2. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Right. She act like she don't want to. You got to promote, girl.
I mean, I'm here,
You love me. You're supporting. It's about me right now. Okay. Well, that's awesome.
You.
That's awesome. So tonight, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm a little discombobulated. I've been all over the place. They probably like, she always discombobulated. I'm getting it together. It's okay. I'm a work in progress. But anyway. So tonight we are going to talk about if we could give our old self, if we could give our young self advice, what would it be? So basically, if you could give yourself advice from 10 years ago, I say 10 years ago because I was all kind of hell 10 years ago. 10 years ago, what would it be? So I literally always try to compare how I used to be to how I am now. I try to give myself pats on the back, to let myself know, like, you've come a long way. Still got a long way to go, but, you've come a long way. I try to think about not necessarily what I was doing wrong or why I was the way I was. I mean, we are the way we are because pretty much I feel like your upbringing, your what you see, what you don't see, what you're taught, what you're not taught. So I try to think about how I was as, me, myself, the entertainment me, because I was ridiculous at one point in my life. So I try to just, I don't know, my words be all mixed up together. But I try to be encouraging to myself more now than I was before. And they also, my new motto is like, love yourself first. So when you love yourself, a lot of things that you tolerate or, just what you accept in your life, you don't accept it more so than what it used to be. So if I could tell myself 10 years ago, one of the things, if I could tell myself 10 years ago, plan more, save more, and don't have such a good heart to the point where it hinders you. I am not a nice person, but if I love you, sometimes it's hindered me. Like loving a person too much and letting them get away with things that I know that I wasn't okay with or whatever the case may be. I had that bad, and I feel like I made a lot of good decisions and I also made a lot of bad decisions, but more so I was lost. I felt like at one point in time, which is how I feel now, I felt like I didn't have any parents, I didn't have any guidance, I didn't have older siblings. I was the oldest, so I had to be the one to pretty much talk to my friends, and we were all the same age and growing up and going through the same stuff and giving each other bad fucking advice. Yeah. Like telling each other, rooting us on, and it just it was like, okay, you need to talk to somebody a little older. So I would tell myself to be more patient with myself, be more loving towards myself, and just be more aware. I wasn't aware of a lot, and then when I was aware, I ignored a lot, and sometimes it did help, but a lot of times it hurt me. Oh, sorry, distraction. But a lot of times it hurt me because I kind of reacted off in every aspect of life, whether it was paying the bill or, you know what I'm saying, going to work on time. I just kind of always reacted on how I felt at the time, or I don't know. I mean, you know, young people stupid stuff. So I definitely have more to say, but I'm trying to get my thoughts together. So, yeah.
What type of advice would you give your younger self?
Definitely choose yourself. I think that
Yes.
one thing we didn't learn, or as a child I wasn't taught. I was always taught how to love other people, but nobody really put emphasis on understanding how to love myself. So I think that now I would definitely say love yourself in a way that you set boundaries and standards and understand that that's okay. The beautiful thing about life is the decisions that you make, everybody may or may not agree with those things. However, at the end of the day, you have to sleep with you. You have to be with you. So you can't really, you can take into consideration other people's opinion, which you should, for certain things. I'm a type of person that in order for me to take your opinion, you have to be doing what it is you're trying to teach me. So if you're not doing it, don't tell me. You do it and show me the way. So I think that with boundaries and standards was one of the most phenomenal things that I've learned thus far. So I would definitely say choosing myself. And if you know me, you know I'm one of those people that saving money is very important. A couple of years ago, I started what was called the $5 challenge. So I didn't spend any $5 bills. So for everyone, I would say don't spend $5. Don't spend your $5 bills. So I guess that's a message.
Don't spend your $5.
Right.
So it was a little thing. You never spend it. Just always put your $5 to the side. Every time you get a $5 bill, just put it to the side, because you just never know what's going to happen in life.
Right, because it comes at you fast.
Right.
It really does.
And people aren't taught how to save money. And I think that just doing little challenges is two that I do, the $5 challenge and then an envelope challenge. It's where you get 100 envelopes and you write on the envelopes.
I'm doing that, but I'm
100.
doing 50.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good. So
I said it's my first year and I'm bad at saving.
right.
I'm horrible at saving. So I'm like, I'll start small, but I'm doing double up. So
Right.
instead of 1, 2, 3,
Anything that you do is more than what you would have had.
Exactly.
So I think sometimes we set a standard and we get so disappointed with ourselves if we don't go all the way. But we have to kind of be cognizant of a step is a step, as long as it's a step in the direction of your choice.
Right.
So at this point, some people can start with 10, you know,
Right.
and
Right, and it's better
some
than it
people
was
don't
last
have
year.
$10, or
Right.
some people don't have $20, and I understand, but I own businesses, so I can be broke sometimes. Not really, but I'm just saying, like, I understand how a business owner cannot have money as opposed to a regular everyday person.
Right.
Everyday person, we got to just do better, and
Right.
that requires you to sacrifice. And that's another thing that I would say to my younger self is never sacrifice yourself.
Ooh, yes.
At the expense of others. And so everything that I would tell my younger self, I'm proud of myself because I am a strong person and I've been making choices that I wanted to make. But loving yourself is your greatest gift.
Yes.
And
Oh
when
my
I
God.
tell it's from the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had
know?
to learn that.
Yeah.
Like deeper than your favorite outfit. I need you to go within and really like just find out about yourself. A lot of people haven't introduced themselves to themselves. You got to
Yes.
think about after every situation in your life, you are a new you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you go through a relationship or friendship or any of those things change. Those
Right.
things grow. Either you learn from it or you don't, but you need to take time to reflect. How did this make me feel? In the next situation I get in like this, what would the decision be? Sometimes we keep asking other people for the questions that
we already, right.
for the answers that we have inside.
Right.
You want somebody to make you feel okay with your answer. No, stuff is hard. Life is life.
Right.
So no one has really, people can give you advice, but nobody has lived your life before. So you just gotta do you every day.
Yes.
That's what I would say.
So it's your turn.
I don't know, like, I would definitely tell myself to really reach within the know your self-worth, because for a long time, like, I really just put other people ahead of me. But I think that's natural, because you feel, I'm a giver, like, I like to give, and I'll give and give and give and give my last, and then it's like, when it's time for me to have help, it's like, people disappear.
Right.
So I just, it really, that would be the major thing. Once I got to that part, it was a lot, it was a lot more peaceful for me, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't me going through every day and just feeling like, dang, like, stressed because I'm worried about what other people are doing and why they're not giving me the same treatment that I gave them. So that's a major one for me. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely had to learn. Right.
Not being hard on myself. And what else? Oh, not closing myself off when I'm hitting like a dark spell or going through something in my life, because that's the worst thing you do. You shutting yourself off from people. But that's about it.
You think shutting yourself off is bad?
I mean, in a way, not if you're like, if I'm in a bad mood, I'm definitely gonna stay in that,
right.
You know, stay away from people, be more guarded to myself. But you know what I mean? But realistically, that don't help either, because if you surround yourself with happy people, you get happy energy. So
just to say this, not to cut you off, but one of the things that you were talking about was when you needed help, people did.
Well, not really came to help me, but
you were looking for you from other people,
right? And exactly, and you can't look for you in other people, because you're you,
but
you're you for.
And that's major.
Yeah.
And I think that was like the life lesson that I learned like within a couple of years, but I realized how much of me I played into why people didn't know how to treat me. Right, I never set the standard.
You have to set the standard.
And that's the important thing. A lot of people are walking around mad because they never set a standard. You're thinking, if because of that saying, do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Now, you can take that theory and y'all can do what you want to do. However, I've learned that means, like, say excuse me. You know, when you step on somebody's toe, or if you bump into them. We took that entirely way too deep. That does not mean treat them like yourself. That does not mean that. You understand what I'm, because you're not, who are these people? So I think that's the main reason a lot of people are working so hard against, well, you wasn't there for me, or you wasn't. But if you would have just paced yourself, if you would have just slowed down and reevaluated, looked at the situation, then it would have had a different result. But you can't get mad at people. And I tell you that because I used to get so frustrated.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, because I'm the one you gonna count on every time. Right.
Always.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had to realize that I never, because I was so busy doing it for you, that you never saw how to help me. And because I've never been in a position to need anything per se, how did you know how to come in and save the day?
Right.
See what I'm saying? You're so busy being the everything that you become nothing for yourself. Yeah. And that's the problem. Yes. So it's a bit different now. Yeah.
Yes. This nigga need to stop popping up. But yeah, I definitely to piggyback off that, I definitely have had to teach myself that stop expecting you from you. Stop expecting people to give you the love that you like. When I found out about love language, it hit me like, wow. Like, that is so true, because I've been in situations where people feel like they love you. And they're like, I love you, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that. And you're like, what? That's what you call love? But their way of giving love is not necessarily the way that you receive it.
In the way that you understand.
Right. So, you know, I use my kids for example. I have 2 children and 2 completely opposite personalities that I have to deal with. And then it's like, I see they have their own little personalities, and they have a little bit of me, they have a little bit of their dad. So that's like so many different personalities that I have to deal with, you know. And it's like, my oldest, for example, he's the lovey-dovey, kissy, you know, he's very affectionate. And that's his way of showing people that they love him. My baby, he could be in the room with you, and he's okay. You don't have to be up on him. He don't like that. He just wants you to be there. You know, and that's how I am. Like, all that kissy, moo, get away from me. Leave me alone. Okay, I got enough. All right, I'm cool. But we could be here like this. You can be on your side. You can be doing what you want to do. I can be doing what I want to do. And I feel like this is great. I love this. You know, we're in the same space.
Right.
I can touch you if I need to touch you.
Right.
So I really had to tell myself that giving people my all was not beneficial to me. Giving people, letting people slide with a lot, has become hard for me. More so, when I was younger, when I first moved here, I got picked on a lot because I was quiet. Nobody knew who I was, where I came from. Oh, she was a little quiet girl from California. She ain't know nothing about nothing. And it kind of conditioned me to start acting the way not acting, but it brought out the rough side of me. Because I started being like, you know what? These folks think I'm nice. They think they can say whatever and do whatever because I let it go for so long. And it brought out the aggressive side that I was always taught. Like, when I saw my mother be aggressive, or other family members, or older aunts, and I just used to be like, oh, you know, that's not me. That's not how I act and stuff. But I learned as I got older that people trigger a side of you that comes out.
Absolutely.
Some people, like how they say you don't know your strength until you have to use it. I had to learn that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know my strength in every aspect of life. I didn't know my strength until I had to use it. Going through what I went through for 2 years, you know, I don't know a lot of women who could endure the pain that I had to endure with going through a custody battle, not seeing my son for 8 months. Hell, I pay child support, $350 a month, and he came up out of me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that, you know, people used to be like, how do you get through this? Or how do you do this? Or how do you do that? Or everybody wanted to tell me, well, if it was me, and I would be doing this and I would be doing that. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not you. And if I do what you want me to do, I got to deal with the consequences of the situation. So it taught me, you know, being younger and being pushed to the point where, like, okay, I always used to be like, I don't believe in being the bigger person. I don't believe in, it's another phrase that people say all the time. You know, people take kindness for weakness. And they do. You know what I'm saying? I've been in situations where, yes, I'm rough and tough, so I always look like the bad guy. I always look like I'm the person that's doing the wrong, because that's just like, you know, if you have a criminal record, it could be that one time that you really are innocent. The police gonna be looking at you like, girl, please. Boy, please. Look at this. You've been doing this. So you expect me to believe that you didn't do that. So I got to a point where if I had someone to talk to, or if I knew what I knew now back then, I truly do feel like I would have made a lot of better decisions, which I'm pretty sure all of us feel like that, you know what I'm saying, from when we were younger. But just, I literally, when I say be aware, I mean be aware of everything. I would have told myself, if I could, you know how they be like, if you could tell yourself in 3 words, describe yourself or whatever. Like, if I could tell myself, a phrase that stuck, it would literally be aware. Be aware of friends, be aware of family. You know what I'm saying? Family really hurts you more than friends because we don't choose our family.
Right.
We choose our friends.
Right.
When we're younger, we don't choose who we have to deal with in our lives. And, now I have control of everybody that's in my life. I have control of everything that not necessarily have control of everything that goes in my life, but I have control of the situations that I allow in my circle,
right,
in my inner peace. So I would definitely tell myself, because I knew how I think about life now and how I am now and my mentality now. I know I didn't love myself 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't love a lick of me. Right. I was just out here just living, trying to be hustling and trying to feed myself every day.
Right.
I didn't really, like you say, I didn't introduce myself to myself. I really feel like I didn't introduce myself to myself until I started going through a custody battle. And I had to think about all these years, I looked at it like, I don't care what people say about me. I don't care what people think. And I don't care, whatever. But it was because it never affected me, mm-hmm. what people thought about me. Mm-hmm. For a judge to look me in my face and tell me that I was a bad mother because of a job, I felt like being a dancer was a job. I made more money than all y'all folks. Mm-hmm. Y'all folks that got a college degree, that's going to work every day, and somebody telling you what to do and what not to do and how to get there and what to do. I looked at that as a joke. Like, no, it's it wasn't something that I chose for myself. And that day, when he said that, it hurt me so bad because I looked at it like, you would rather me be a mom that's out here on welfare, you know what I'm saying, asking for all this government help, or going out there getting it myself. But because it was considered, you take your clothes off, mm-hmm. you're a bad person. Mm-hmm. You're a bad mom. I'm like, do you know how good I was able to take care of my oldest son? I wish, I had the money to afford for my son to go to private school now.
Right.
I can't afford that with this good job, so they call it. But, when I was being a hustler, that was nothing. What? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes there you go, 2-3 months. I got it. So I had to learn to live for myself. Going through what I went through, from the first time I went to court to when I came back a year later, mm-hmm. it was crazy because everything that they frowned upon, I changed it, and it still didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. When I went the first time, I was dancing. I literally did just leave a domestic violence relationship. So I was literally picking up the pieces from leaving and not having nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I come back a year later and I've changed my whole life around, and y'all still looking at me like, yeah, but you're still a stripper who don't know no better. And it just made me be like, you know what? I love myself. It's nothing that I literally got judged as a bad mom for selling sex toys. I'm like, everybody in this courtroom grown, we all like having sex. Mm-hmm. But y'all want to frown upon it, y'all don't want to talk about it. Right. You know what I'm saying? When I can't remember what the other lawyer had said, and then the judge was like, what is that? Oh, she called it a novelty. Mm-hmm. And he was like, what is a novelty? And she was like, a dildo. And he was like, so you have dildos in the house with your son? I'm like, yeah. What if they were for my personal use? You wouldn't be frowning upon it. Mm-hmm. But because I sell it, I'm like, do you know that that's a multi-million-dollar business? Mm-hmm. But okay, that's a but I was like, I'm glad that I love myself. I prepared myself for that day to sit on that stand and be talked down on. Mm-hmm. Back then, it probably would have hurt my soul. The first time I went to court, you know how they got the court doors? They swing open and close. When I say I sat there and I felt like I literally wanted to fight my lawyer when I left. Mm-hmm. I was in tears. I was like, you didn't defend me at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, you sat there and let them badger me the way that they did. And I'm not that person that they tried to make me. I love my kids. Right. So because my job, something that they don't even know what I do, they're not there with me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, how was I being judged by that? I literally got up and I was so angry and hurt. And I was angry and hurt at my son's father too for saying these things, because I'm like, you had a baby with me. And the reason my work ethic and the type of parent that I was to my first child is the reason why you wanted to have a child with me. Mm-hmm. But now you're trying to use it all against me. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Especially because I'm like, do you know what you do? But okay. So I walked out the courtroom and I opened up the court door and I literally, boom, like it slammed. Like I was like, oh shit, I'm finna get contempt of court or whatever charge they could put on me, because I let my anger get the best of me. Mm-hmm. But I think more so because I was being talked about as a mother, something that I pride myself on, that I know I bust my ass for my kids. I literally, you know, I had to start, that's when I started meditating. That's when I started learning to love myself, learning to know that anything anybody could say to me, about me, it wouldn't hurt me. Mm-hmm. Even like sometimes if somebody tell us something true about us, you know, I know it's true, but I want to defend it even though I know it's true.
Right.
I lie all day. I know I'm a liar. You call me a liar and I'm going off. Mm-hmm. It's like, why do we do that? Mm-hmm. Because we can't accept what we receiving sometimes. Sometimes people are telling us about ourselves for a good reason. Right. Versus, you know, so I would have been more receptive to a lot of stuff when I was younger. I would have learned that just being judged. I never cared about being judged, but I would have done things a lot differently. I would have, like what I'm doing now, having a real, they call it a real job. Why do they call it a real job? Having a 9-to-5 office corporate sit at a desk job. I probably would have experienced it younger. You know what I'm saying? Because it would have taught me to get a check and $400 is taken out. It kills my soul. I'm not used to it. Mm-hmm. And I think the only thing, I truly believe that this court situation was for me to become a better woman. Okay. I always told people, like, I went through every emotion when I was going through this. And a couple weeks ago, this girl was like, don't you hate him? And I was like, no, I don't. Mm-hmm. It got to the point where maybe 6-7 months in the court, I started being like, okay, I had to get up and tell myself this is to build me, like you say, into the next stage. What am I learning from it? What did I get out of it? Getting up every day and knowing that I had 2 children, and at one point for a couple months I didn't have either one of them because my oldest son was still here going to school, and I was in Augusta. So every day getting up and going on about my day and going to work and going to school and stuff and not being able to be a mom, it made me be more appreciative when I have them. No, I don't feel like getting up, going to school. Y'all tearing up my stuff. You're breaking this, you're breaking that. But it made me appreciate, you know what I'm saying? Because you never think about it. When you have a child, you feel like that's mine. Right. But in reality, this government that was created can take them away from you. True. So, you know, I just kind of really took something out of that. And I feel like if it would have been vice versa, like if I would have went through this with my oldest son, I would have lost him. I would have nutted up and no return about my child. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But to be so helpless and to feel like I was losing something that was so dear to me, right, it really started making me think about life in a different way. And just learning that because I didn't love myself, I allowed this to happen to me. Pretty much. That's how I felt about it. So, I'm going to go to a commercial break because my engineer is in my ear, keeps telling me that. But he's great. He's a great engineer and trainer, y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm moving up. I got me an intern and stuff. So, yeah, we're going to go to break and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about more stuff. So, yeah.
Hello. Commercial break. And the topic was what advice you would give to your younger self. So I gave the advice earlier, and now she talked about how
Me too.
Basically, fighting for her child was a turning point for her. So I'm going to ask her what advice
You're so
she gives
annoying.
to
Why you can't bring me to your house so I can
Show producer. My show producer. I'm booking again.
Okay, I'll be back to the second part of my life. For those of y'all that are still listening, we're on commercial break. My head look crazy, but yeah, I'm on commercial break, so I'm going to take a break and then I'm gonna come back.
That are